But I am so happy to have our presenter back for our 5th session. She reminded me today, I'm like, are we on session 3? She's like, it's session 5. And then we started talking about how first quarter is almost over and it's been a long year and it's only March. So, but one great thing about this year is that Maribel has really dedicated herself to these AI trainings for everyone in this group, for our following, both of our online communities. And I don't even think she knows this, but I've shared some of this even with my community that's not online with my clients to get them to know her. And every single referral that I could send her, I definitely do, because she's such a powerhouse. She's great at what she does. And not only does she have the knowledge and skills to implement the change, but she also has the quality time and the productivity and just that level of excellence that she executes to make sure that everybody I send her and everybody that she really comes in contact with that needs these services is really not just hitting the mark, but knocking it out of the ballpark. So without further ado, I will give the mic over to Maribel for our 5th training today on AI tools for time management and productivity. But before I do that, I want you to make sure that you're definitely following her on all of her platforms, that you're visiting her website. Those are links that I'll be sharing in the comments throughout these. They'll actually be posted with these trainings on our Facebook page. Watch them on our YouTube channels. So this is not the only time that you will have exposure to this. You can actually keep this training. Now, Facebook is going to delete it in 30 days because those rules have changed, right, Maribel? So
yes.
After a month, it's going to be going off of FB, and that's why it's important that you are following us, and especially Maribel, so you can have this information firsthand, and you can know how to get in touch with her if you need to. So there's some more goodies that I'll mention when we're winding things up and when we're ending today. A chat bot that she's created just for anybody watching these trainings, and there's also some resources that you can get a hold of. And just to make sure that you're staying in contact with her, there is an email list that you can sign up for these activities. So now I will hand it over to the greatest.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. I absolutely love doing these trainings for you guys. I have been in the AI space for, I don't know, almost 2 years now, I should say. But I've really invested, my time, my energy, my money into learning all of the good things so that you guys don't have to, right? And then I can just help you kind of along the way, and show you really what works, what doesn't work, what's really helpful for small business owners versus those who are, more large scale and everything in between, right? I'm a certified AI consultant, degreed digital graphic designer, marketer, brander. So I come to you with, a lot of clout behind me, or a lot of, oomph behind my name, but I digress. Today, we are going to focus on something that I really, really love, and that's time management and productivity, okay? Because any business owner knows that if they do not use their time well, okay, and aren't productive during the time that they do have, then the business is not going to grow. The business is not going to expand. It's not going to scale. It's also going to just be a waste, honestly. And I say that with some emphasis because you got to think about it like this. If you are in business to make money and you don't use your time, which is a resource, if you don't use your time well and you're not productive during the time that you have to help it grow and scale, then you just have an expensive hobby. And it is not a business. You may look like you're a business on paper, but if you're not investing the time that you need to help it get to where you want it to be, then it's a hobby, right? And so we've got to kind of reframe how we utilize our time so that it is much more productive and we get something from it, okay? There's lots of tools out there. Okay, I'm gonna touch on a few today. I'm not gonna get into deep with all the things that are out there because I've told you guys before that there's levels to this. So you have your basic foundational tools that are great for our starters. And then we have, the others as we get deeper into AI and automations and having, custom GPTs or chatbots do certain work for us. But I'm going to touch kind of like middle of the spectrum today, okay? So y'all know time is scarce, right? It's the one resource we can never get back. Once it's done, right? So once you've exchanged your time for whatever, then that is the result that you are ultimately going to get. So if I were the business owner that wants to exchange my time in, say, scrolling on social media and trying to figure out what the latest trends are, who my competitors are, what I should be charging for my goods and services, so on and so forth. What am I going to get out of that? I am going to get some information possibly if I know exactly where to look. But about 90% of that is wasted time. The reason I say that is because AI can do all that for you. There's no reason for you to spend hours and hours of time online searching for that content and that information when all you have to do is head over to ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. There's so many now. Grok is a newer one. Then we have even deep research, which is even when that came out, that just exploded everything, because now you have basically think about like a personal assistant that does all of this research, that can scour the entire web and determine a boatload of information for you, right? So if you ask ChatGPT a simple question, it'll spit out some information, maybe a page worth of good info. If you take that over to deep research, which is a newer feature on ChatGPT, and most of the other AI platforms that are out there, it's going to spit out 8 to 10 solid pages of information for you, right? So that's just something that if you really are in the newer stages of your business and you're trying to determine where you need to go, right? And you need to do all this research, please use ChatGPT for that. Don't go scouring the web for things that you can literally find out in a few clicks, because that is a true waste of your time. All right. You need to dedicate your time as the business owner to higher level skills. You want to be strategizing on how you can expand, thinking about, okay, what are the best products that I can sell to my customers based on data, based on analytics. And as I've talked to you guys in the past, you can use ChatGPT to help you analyze those things, right? Cutting down on the time that you would spend on that so that you can actually execute. So if it tells you that, this particular candy bar sells best on Fridays, you need to make sure that you have enough in stock, right? You get it to analyze those things, and then you set up the system so that it works. Okay. So anything that you can think of in your business that you spend way too much time on, guarantee that you can find a tool that'll help you be more productive and more effective in that time window. Okay. Because you need to start focusing on the things that really, truly matter to your business growth. Got it? All right. So today, introduction, you just had it, right? Our AI is just this tremendous thing out there in terms of productivity. It is going to help you grow leaps and bounds in such a short time, but you have to know how to use it wisely. Okay, we're going to talk about some tools for task management, scheduling, communication, among some others that I always try to sprinkle in a few extra things that are not necessarily on our presentation deck, barring time, but I can probably tell you, I don't know, thousands of tools that you could possibly use to help you with time management, productivity, and things like that. So if there's something that you're looking for and I don't mention it today, just hit me up in the group or DM me, and I'll be more than happy to go, yeah, you can use this tool for that task. And that'll help you out a little bit. We're going to talk about how AI helps us maintain concentration. Instead of, getting distracted by all the things around us, there are tools that'll help us focus. And then some best practices for implementing AI into your particular workflow. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so AI, it is this game changer, all right, for productivity. It removes a lot of the manual effort that we use to put into managing our time, and it allows us to literally automate that, right? So instead of constantly juggling things like emails, meetings, or remembering deadlines, AI takes care of that for us. It can help us make better decisions, right, by analyzing habits and suggesting ways to optimize your workflows. You can also learn from those behaviors and personalize specific solutions that are going to fit our particular work style. So just a little example here. If AI sees that you often schedule meetings back to back, then it might suggest blocking off focus time in between so you can recharge, right? So it can help you time block. Time block is going to be a huge thing for you and an excellent tool that you can utilize to help you streamline your workflow day to day, week to week, month to month. And if you have no idea what time blocking is or what it looks like, you can head over to my website. I have a free tool for you that's on there that you can download and grab. It's a time blocking template, and it explains what time blocking is. There's different approaches to it. So you can try one, and if you like it, stick with it. If not, try a different one. But time blocking is super important. And it's one of the things that I utilize all the time, literally, in order to make sure that I can balance my work, my home, my business, personal life, church life, all the things that make up who I am, right? That take my time during different times of the month or the week, whatever. But that's how I fit it all in. And then, of course, fit in the time for you, because you have to take care of yourself. As a business owner, that is something that should be a non-negotiable for you. Okay. You need to take the time to recharge, because an empty battery charges nothing, right? An empty cup pours into no one. You guys have all heard those things. So that should be number one on your list. Okay. Number two, then if you have for me, church, God. So making sure I have the time plugged into my calendar for that. That's a non-negotiable for me, right? So think about what your non-negotiables are. Make sure you have that scheduled somewhere, right? And then you go in between and go, okay, what time do I have to dedicate to, I don't know, what's the top 3 goals of your business? Think like that, right? If you're just a starting fresh little startup company, maybe it's developing the structures and the SOPs and the systems that you need to be able to function like a normal business. Right? Maybe it is hiring certain people. So developing your HR department and figuring out exactly how you're going to go through resumes and what the interview process is going to look like, and things like that. What if you're a product-based business, right? It could be inventory. So how are you going to spend time doing inventory? And I don't remember if it was the last session that we talked about it or the one prior to that, but AI can help you with that as well. In terms of your inventory, making sure that you have all of that recorded somewhere so that you can easily figure out if you're running out of things, instead of wasting time having to manually check what you have in stock each and every time you sell a product. There's no reason for that, right? When you have deadlines, this is really, really important. So when you're working with clients, especially for our service-based businesses here, you need to make sure that you are meeting your deadlines. You need to make sure that you are actually delivering well in advance of that deadline, right? It's best practices to go, yes, this is the deadline, but always, always, always deliver early. Because if you deliver early, then people know that they can count on you, right? Not to mention, if you deliver early, you make that room and that space in case something happens along the way, right? So if you turn over something that you've designed for me, like a website or something, if I turn that over to a client and I go, all right, I got it to you early, have a look, see, they look at it, I activate it online, and then God forbid something happens and I have to go back and troubleshoot for them, I have some time, right? Let's say that they wanted it to launch by June of this year and I turn it into them by early May, boom, that's like a month of notice so that I have some time to see how it works online, if there's any issues, if I have to change their SEO, so on and so forth, right? So give yourself that space, that buffer, to help you with that. And AI can be a great tool that's going to remind you, okay, this is due this time, this is due here. Oh, looks like you double booked yourself between this platform and that platform, because that has happened before. Meetings get double booked, right? Especially when you don't have things all in one spot. Just being real, I've done that, right? And I've had to go back literally the day of when I go, oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I forgot that I booked this on this, this day, can't do it. Because maybe I forgot to write it into my calendar, right? But if you use AI for that, then you don't have to worry about forgetting anything because it does it for you, right? When you have these things in place, then you can make better decisions about how you're going to navigate your time in the day. Okay, so let's just say, and I'm going to use my son as the example here because this did happen, right? Going about my day, doing my thing. I had several meetings on the books, get a call that my son is not feeling well at school. Turns out his appendix almost burst and I had to rush him to the hospital, right? And what had to happen, right? I had to cancel all of those meetings, right? I had to communicate with those people and go, hey, I am so sorry. This is what occurred. I was able to do that with one click and not have to email each and every one of them. And they all understood, and all I had to do was send them my booking link and go, okay, rebook. And they did it, and I don't have to worry about it, right? So life emergencies are going to happen. So what systems do you have in place that are going to help you when that occurs, right? What contingencies do you have to be able to move meetings around should things fall apart, right? God forbid a computer blows up in the middle of whatever and you have to buy a brand new computer. That happened to me too. My computer crashed out of nowhere probably like 2 years ago. And I was working on projects for clients, right? And I had to wait. I lost 3 days of work because of that, because I had to wait for my computer to get shipped, right? But I built in enough buffer space so that those 3 days didn't really hurt me, right? And I spent those 3 days doing other tasks that pushed things forward. So start thinking like that, right? Start thinking about what problems could you possibly have and how can I use my time and AI, of course, to address those challenges or those potential challenges with some of the smarter solutions that'll allow to take some of that pressure off of your shoulders, right? Because as business owners, we've got a ton of pressure on our shoulders. We're always worrying about dropping the balls, right? So what can you put in place that's going to help you keep all of those things up in the air so that you're not drowning underneath of them, okay? All right, so our AI, whatever AI you use, right? And I say that because it's exactly that, right? There's so much out there. I can't tell you specifically to use one or the other, but there are tried and true ones that work well for you, or for me, I should say. I know Cynthia uses specific ones, and I know many other business owners use specific ones, right? So it just depends on what you need. But no, there is a tool literally for everything out there that you could possibly want. One of the coolest ones that I use, and I've talked to Cynthia about this in the past, and we communicate on this, is Slack, right? Slack is super duper helpful in terms of managing a team, managing projects, and managing your life. You could literally manage your life in Slack. You could have a whole Slack channel just for yourself. And you don't have to invite anybody to it, but you could send yourself reminders there. You could send yourself links there. You could send yourself images, video even. And believe it or not, Slack holds video and images that are high resolution and take up a lot of space really well. Better than a lot like your cell phone, right? Like, I don't know how many times I've tried to send like video to like my friends and my family just using my cell phone, and I have an issue doing it. Like it says that the image size is too big or the video length is too big, but when I send it through Slack, it goes through just fine. So that's one of the things that you can think of if you have something larger that you want to send out, try Slack. That's something that is a really cool tool. Another thing, I've used Notion, I've used ClickUp, I've used Trello. These are all really cool platforms to organize your productivity, your time management, your team management, and like I said, even your self-management. Okay, it has a lot of opportunities for you to organize notes, documents. It could even generate content for you if you want to go that route. I would not recommend using this for that. That's really not what its purpose is. But you could organize things according to deadline, according to the person that is responsible for like the next step in the workflow, automate reminders. And even when you're looking at this whole platform or any of these platforms, truly, if you feel really overwhelmed, like you look at it and it's like, oh my gosh, this is too crowded, I have too many things, it can actually help you kind of reorganize that so that you have a little space in your day. Okay, I use another one called Asana. I like Asana a lot. It helps me to organize my content, and I can drop in the image that I want to use, the actual copy that I want to use. I can put like the first comments that I want to use, and I can share that with other teammates, and they can actually like comment on it if they want to, give me suggestions, and so on and so forth. I use the free plan. It's actually, it does a lot on the free plan, and most of these things do, right? Like Trello is another great one. I've used Trello for years. I have clients who use Trello, and I'm on their project board with them. So they just add me to it, and then I have access to it, and I can comment, I can add things, delete things, so on and so forth, and just keep track of all of the components of anything that I deal with my clients, right? So like when it comes to stuff like this, long gone is paper and pencil. You don't use it anymore. I mean, I'm going to be honest. If you look at my desk right now, I've got notes everywhere. I do, but that's just because I'm here at the 9 to 5, right? I'm here at the normal job, and yeah, it's whatever. But I also use AI for it too, right? I don't know what it is about pen to paper. It does feel great. But sometimes I use it to kind of like plan something out in my own hand, and then I transfer it right over into this in the computer, and I use it there. It's one of those things where, look, one tool is not going to work for everybody, right? There's so many out there that I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed. I also don't want you to think, oh, because Maribel said that everything should be, no, don't do that. If you love the paper and pencil, stick with the paper and pencil. And if you want to transfer it online, then transfer it online. I'm just telling you, like, it's raining right now in Florida, and I don't want to carry notebooks around because they're going to get wet and soggy, right? My purse doesn't hold all the things. My briefcase doesn't hold all the things. So if I can put it online and I can just pull it up wherever I'm at, I can pull it up on my cell phone if I want to. I can pull it up on my iPad if I want to, or when I get home, I can pull it up there, right? That's one of the benefits about using AI and using these platforms online that'll help you organize everything, because you can take it with you no matter where you are. You can take it with you overseas. You can take it with you on vacation if you want to. And it's going to make your life a whole lot easier, because you can even have it track how often, let's say, you miss one of the tasks that are on there. So I've done this before. I've been a little overzealous and try to schedule my time literally back to back, right? Block by block, excuse me. And there are plenty of times where it's like, okay, well, Maribel, I didn't get to this today. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Like working out. I mean, not for nothing. That's probably the last thing that I worry about. When it comes down to the long list of things I got to do as a business owner, right? Working out. But hey, I'm on this health journey, so it's important, right? I got to make sure I do it. But if I analyze literally all the tasks that are on my schedule, that's probably the one that's going to stand out. So maybe it's because I put it at a certain time that doesn't work for me. And maybe I need to change that time to make it a little easier for me to accomplish, right? So AI can help you analyze that. Okay, maybe it is you have consistently forgotten that you double booked a meeting or what have you, or you have a hidden time that you forgot to block off. That's a weekly repeater, right? Use AI to help you remember that. Okay, if you are supposed to follow up at certain points in a project with a client, use AI to help you with that. Because if you rely on your own mind, I promise you, you're going to forget. Right. And that has nothing to do with the fact that, you're younger or older. No, it's just when we have so much to do, something is going to slip. So you can use AI as your fail-safe, as your backup, right? It can literally make it your assistant and go, hey, so-and-so, these are the tasks you have to accomplish today, right? Then you go, all right, what are the most important ones? And it'll rank it. Like I have it to where it'll rank the importance of the tasks. Okay. And then once it ranks the importance of the tasks, then you can execute, and you could have it even help you come up with an action plan on how to execute each of the tasks. Like, what is the best thing to do first? Who should I delegate this to? Or what part of this should I delegate, right? What part of this should I hire out? Okay. So then that's when you're thinking about how can I best use my particular time, my zone of genius, to help me get to where I want to go ultimately in my business. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I am going to spend my time working on, say, trying to think of a good one because I kind of do a lot. Let's see, website logo. Oh, one thing that I don't like doing, sales. Okay, let's talk about that, right? I don't like selling. I don't. Right? It's just one of those things where, yes, I know it's part of it. It's part of what you do, right? Just to talk about yourself and let other people know what you do. But I don't like having to counter objections. I don't like having to, get on phones and do cold calls with people and try to tell them about who I am or whatever the case is. Another thing I don't like doing is getting on camera. I know, sound funny, right? I don't like getting on camera and like going out into the world and going, hey guys, this is Maribel. I've got this great new thing that I want to share with you. I feel very self-conscious. I'm working on it though. I'm working on it. But AI is fun because I can literally clone my image, clone my voice, and have it spit out video that sounds and looks just like me. And and that's, and then I can create content galore based on that without ever having to go behind a camera, without ever having to do retakes, without ever having to edit, because I've already planned it out like that, right? And it just takes a script that I put in and it'll spit it out for me if I want to go that route, okay? So you can think about some things that you just truly don't like doing in your business, right? And AI can probably solve it for you. There is some sort of tool out there that can probably do it for you, right? That way you're not wasting that time on something you're miserable at, and you can spend it more on the things that you really, truly love, okay? And that's where you want to be. You want to be in that sweet spot where you're going to work every day. You're working, in your business, and hopefully get to the point where you're working on it and not in it. Okay. Because that's when you see the true growth happen. All right. So use AI as an assistant for scheduling. Okay. Now there's two kind of trains of thought with this. I know many people who use AI chat bots to schedule. Now, a chat bot is very different from a custom GPT. Okay. So a chat bot is, when you get on a website, and it's usually in the lower right-hand corner of a web page where a little box pops up and goes, hey, how can I help you? Right. And I talked about chatbots the last session that we had. How you need to get yourself a bot, because you do. You need to get yourself a bot. If you're running any kind of website, you need a bot. But you can program your bot to do anything you want, right? You can program it up to the point where it actually schedules appointments for you. And when you get to that level, that's going to free up so much of your time. So much of your time, because you don't have to get on the phone and be like, okay, when can I fit you in? When can I squeeze you in? Or hey, go to my website and schedule through this link or whatever. No, it'll actually populate the link for you inside the chat box space. And whoever's on the website, right, can go click, done, right? And they schedule their meeting with you. And then you get on the call, right? And then if you're really smart about it, you will send them a set of pre-qualifying questions to determine whether or not you and them are a good fit. Okay. Because those pre-qualifying questions should put them into one of two buckets. Well, one of three, I should say. First bucket, most definitely, I am going to work with this person. They are the perfect ideal client, right? Second bucket, maybe, but they're not quite ready to financially commit to me, but I'm going to keep, nurturing them because they're a warm lead. They've got the interest there, but they're not fully ready. And then the definite no's, right? Like, this is definitely not my person, so I'm not going to waste my time on them. So if you use that, right, that automatically an email should automatically go out that, after they book with you, send them that email that goes, all right, I need you to answer these questions. And if they don't answer those questions before your scheduled appointment time, cancel that appointment, right? And you can set up an automation for that too. You can set it so that where in the system, whatever CRM that you have, it should receive their document, and if it doesn't receive the document before a specified time, then the appointment automatically gets canceled. So you can set that up. So that's pretty cool. That's one of the more advanced ones that you're going to have to program out, but it can be done. So if you're at that point in your life where you're like, you know what, I really need to start filtering out clients better to determine, how I can spend my time wisely and be more productive, and that's something you should definitely look into. Okay. I use this particular AI platform, Reclaim AI. It's actually really cool because you can set certain things according to urgency and availability. So one example that I have is, I'm going to pull up my calendar on my phone just so I can kind of read it out to you. And so you can kind of get a gist of how it sets it up. So I have it set so that every morning between a certain hour, I have daily design time, right? So it blocks it off like 3 days a week. I have daily design time. It's done. Nothing else can be scheduled during that time. Then I have a spot where it schedules my lunch. So I know I have an hour lunch every day. Then I have a spot where I schedule my reading time because yes, I love reading, But I also know that if I don't schedule it, it's not going to happen because I have so many other things that need to be done, right? So that's that. Now, whether that's a book that I read for pleasure or if it's one that I read because I want to become a better, marketer, a better an AI consultant, so on and so forth, it doesn't matter, but I schedule it in there, right? Then from there, I have other days where I have a writing block, right? And that's where I write my content. Okay. I have a workflow for that where I use AI to assist me. I have custom GPTs that I have created in my tone of voice and with words that I use and prohibited words and things like that, which even includes my personality type, that help me create the content. But then I spend time, going through it, analyzing it, changing some things around, making it more me. So I have stuff like that. I have an afternoon catch-up time where I kind of go through my day and for like 30 minutes before I end my day, did I take care of everything that I was supposed to take care of, right? I have a time weekly where I have a weekly status report. Like, where am I in my productivity journey for the week? So I kind of go back and I analyze, what have I done? What have I not? What's worked? What hasn't? And then you adjust, right? So I have these things just kind of programmed into my calendar. Some of them are daily, some of them are weekly, some of them are bi-weekly, some of them are monthly. But I use Reclaim AI for that. And it automatically schedules everything out for me. Connects to my Google account, which is great. So I don't have to touch it, right? And it finds the time and the space that's optimal for you. So if you have more time, say on Wednesday afternoons, then it knows to kind of schedule things in that space. If there's a conflict, even if it's down the road, it'll send you a notification and go, hey, you have this on the calendar. It's going to conflict with this. Should we move it around? And it'll move it for you, which is neat. So you don't have to do that, right? Another one that's out there is Motion, and that combines calendar and task management to prevent double booking. Same idea, just different platform. Clockwise is nice for the team aspect of it, but there's some other things out there. So when you have a schedule, especially when you're dealing with multiple people's schedules, I love it because I have a family, obviously. It's nice to go, okay, kids, what you got going on this week or what you got going on this month? Let me put it in my calendar so I make sure I don't book anything at that time, because that's happened too, unfortunately, right? I don't know how many times that my son has come to me and go, hey, Mom, we got a baseball meeting, this afternoon. You gonna be there? And I'm like, wait a minute, son, hold on. I have a business meeting. What are you doing? Can't just randomly do that. But they make it so that if you don't show up to these baseball meetings, then guess what? Your kid doesn't play. So I'm like, well, okay, I got to be there. And it is what it is. But when you have a really good scheduling tool, it's really easy to kind of work around those things and help you be more productive with your time and just be present too, right? Who doesn't want to be present for their family? Who doesn't want to be present even for themselves? Okay, so when it comes to scheduling the you time, right, that me time, that rest time, the relaxation time, going to the spa, getting that massage, getting your nails did, your toes done, your hair done, all the good stuff, right? Who doesn't want to do all that? I want to do all that.
That's all the good stuff.
Okay, Cynthia, I'm just saying, I want to do all that. I want to have time for that. Okay. So yeah, so when you have a good virtual scheduling tool, right, one that you love, stick with it, figure it out, and make it work for you. I will tell you this, Reclaim AI takes a little bit of setup time because it's got to know who you are and what your priorities are. So that's another thing too. It'll ask for their urgency status. It'll use the Eisenhower matrix to ask that. And then you get to set if it's urgent or if it's not urgent, if it's something that can be just done, left for later or what have you. But if you do that and you actually follow it and you use it and you stick with it, telling you, it's going to open up your world to so many things. Okay. AI tools for email and communication. This is probably one of the coolest, most easiest things and the easiest way to free up your time and also not have 10,000 emails in your inbox. Guilty right here. Just being real. Okay. I've done it. Done that, been there, done that, especially ones that I don't really use a lot. I have my personal email, inbox, and then I have my business one. My business one is clean. My personal one, on the other hand, it needs some work. Just, yeah. But find yourself a nice tool that can help drain it and help organize it and clean it up, and it'll be fine. There've been plenty of times in the past where I have missed emails from potential clients because it got lost in the sauce. Just being truthful here, right? I get tons of emails every single day, and I'm sure you do too. And some of them are great, some of them are not. being in the marketing space, I actually like getting the solicited emails from people because I can see what their copy is like and I can see the kinds of things that they're sending out. And that's one thing that I will say I recommend that you do. This is a little side note because we're not talking about marketing today, but when you sign up for things, check out what people send you, right? Look at their communication and how they're structuring, how they're selling things to you, and check for the frequency that they send out and stuff like that. It's always nice to see what your competitors are doing out there. So sign up for your competitors' emails. Sign up for, whatever freebie they got going on for you. Yes, they're going to reach out 1,000,001 times, but look and see what they're doing. So that's just a little side note for you. Gmail. All right. I tell everybody, if you are not in the Gmail, Google Workspace, situation, I suggest you get it. Okay. Only reason I say this, okay, a lot of people have, and I've seen this, and it's a big mistake that a lot of business owners are making, when they have an email address that is, for example, maribelsanabria@gmail.com. Okay. Please don't do that. Okay. You need to have a business specific domain, which is why like mine is maribel@graphicallyyours.com. Okay. Business specific domains, number one, give you clout. It shows people that you are a serious business, that you are someone to be trusted, someone who takes being in business seriously, right? And wants to do business the right way. Not only that, it gives you access to a whole bunch of free tools when you have it. So you can do things like Google Meet, which is what we're on right now, right? So it's free. So do I pay for Zoom? No, I sure don't. There's no reason to pay for it when I get it for free through Google services, right? Do I have to pay for PowerPoint? Do I have to pay for Microsoft Office at all? No, because I get all of the services through Google, right? Do I have to pay, even if I wanted to take it this far, do I have to pay for a website? Actually, no, if I don't want to, because Google has a platform called Google Sites. So, and I used to use it when I was a teacher, back in education when I had a classroom, so that parents could have access to certain things, right? Because it's just very simple, streamlined, clean, and easy to use. I actually have a client currently who uses Google Sites as her website host and have no issues, but she's got a very simple product that she sends out. And for most businesses, it's not the way to go because it's not as robust as we need it. But starting off, if you really didn't have a whole lot of collateral to put into something, money, it could be an option for you, right? So you definitely need to have it, right? And then within the Google Workspace, okay, you have access to all of these analytic tools that are really, really going to help you, right? When it comes to like analyzing your Google presence online, right? Your SEO presence, your rankings. Being a part of the Google space gives you access also recently to Notebook LM, which is a huge AI platform that you can use to write your books, to write your research papers, to write any kind of thing that you want to do, tons of research, to do all kinds of projects that require a lot of memory, a lot of data, and you need AI support. Notebook LM, right? So Google Workspace owners now have access to that, 100% free. We also have access to Gemini. And Gemini is Google's AI. So Gemini is Google's version of ChatGPT. All right. And Gemini has also a deep research function. Okay. Like I said, most of them have the similarities, right? But it just depends on how they're programmed and what you want to use them for, how much you get out of them. I will say I'm impressed with Gemini. Google has definitely stepped up its game in terms of what it can do, in terms of the output it gives you, the quality of the content that it gives you. So if you are not a part of the Google Workspace, then you cannot have access to all these things. Another little piece is for my advanced automations users who use things like Zapier and Make to create advanced automations. If you don't have a Google Workspace account, it doesn't function within those platforms. So you won't be able to connect to anything that you have saved in folders, or it won't be able to drop information or retrieve information from said folders. So that's another, something else to consider in terms of getting your email and everything set up properly. Okay. If you have the Google Workspace, your Gmails, you can set it up so they can compose themselves, right? You can set up things that allow it to suggest words and sentences ahead of time. It can prioritize your inbox. One of the coolest things that I have seen most recently within my Gmail is here. I'm just going to open it up so I can talk about it. All right. So if I look at my inbox right now, okay, what it does, and I've toggled this on, is it will summarize the email in like what I can see without ever having to open up the actual email. So for example, if I am looking for, well, let me just scroll through this. If I'm looking at my phone, there's some junk, of course, but then I follow a lot of AI people, and I am subscribed to their email. So it'll tell me what that particular person is including inside of their email. So I can go, oh, okay, that looks pretty interesting. And then I can click on it, right? And then I can filter it from here and decide, okay, this person I want to read, this one I don't, I delete. This one I like, this one I don't, delete, right? Or I can quickly go through it and see without having to actually open up each of these, which saves me a lot of time, right? And keeps me sane, which is this last little piece here, right? Sort emails automatically to minimize that distraction throughout the day. Keep you sane, right? You don't want to see that you have 10,000 emails pending in your inbox. Nobody does, right? That's annoying. That's a waste of time. So if you get anything from this particular conversation, get yourself some Google Workspace, okay? Get into that because that's really going to help you out. You're going to love the things that are there. So this is another, I guess, aspect of using AI for productivity and for time management, your writing and your note taking. So right now, if you notice in our group here, there's a read.ai meeting notes bot that Cynthia uses to take notes for her meetings, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. So you don't have to sit there and take notes throughout your meetings. You just toggle that little puppy on and it'll take notes for you and then summarize it all and give you follow-up action steps and so on and so forth. And if you don't have read.ai, don't sweat it, because guess what's inside of our nice little platform here? Gemini, right? Gemini does automatic note taking now. So again, that's a component of having Google Workspace. If you have Google Workspace, okay, you can take automatic meeting notes via Gemini inside of your platform while you're doing your presentation, okay? Inside of Google Meets specifically, all right? So I'm not talking about if you're on Zoom. I'm talking about if you are in Google Meets, right? There's a nice little, looks like a pencil with like a little asterisk next to it. That's your Google Gemini. And if you click on that, it'll automatically take meeting notes and it'll listen to the whole presentation. And what I really like about it is it tells you, it's not like a verbatim, like word by word kind of transcript, but it'll summarize the points that you discussed. And then it'll create at the bottom like follow-up tasks for you so that you know exactly what needs to be done next. Like, how cool is that, right? You can be present during your meetings and then you go and you look at that document and go, okay, what do I got to do? Boom, boom, boom. You've got your task. Move forward and make it happen, right? Then what you could do, truthfully, if you want to get really good at this, you could take that transcript and you can put it into ChatGPT and you can put it into a specific automation workflow and have them schedule those tasks into your calendar. And then, so that's without you even touching it, right? You can set up an automation that goes, all right, take this document from this folder, okay? Grab the tasks, put them into reclaim.ai, make it so that they schedule on my calendar and send me, notification when it's done. Boom, right? How cool is that? Okay, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
That's the ultimate cheat code.
Okay. I'm telling you, like, the more and more that I learn about AI and its capabilities, the more mind blown I get. Like, it's one of those things where, yes, it can be overwhelming. Like, and I tell you guys every single time I give one of these trainings, please do not overwhelm yourself. Start small, right? And then as you get good at one thing, then add another tool. then get great at that one, and then add another one, all right? Because AI is constantly evolving, and they are constantly going to be putting out new tools and new ways of doing things. So you got to stay abreast of what's happening out there, right? You got to know what's going on. You got to know what the changes are. And if you really are about that life and want to get really good at AI and utilizing it, I suggest you start getting into some of these forums, that you start getting into some of these groups that really talk heavy about how to utilize this in business. That's why I started my group, right? The Automation Lab for entrepreneurs. I want you guys to be able to start getting in there and talking about the tools that you're using. Start learning about the different things that are happening, that are coming down the line. If anything's newsworthy, you know, if there is a shortcut to something. So I'm going to be building that out like a lot in terms of the tools and things that we use here, information that we have in general, and just ways to support you guys more as you learn how to use automations to your benefit, no matter where you're at in your business. All right, AI for focus and rescue time and freedom, all the things. Did you know that there is a built-in focus capacity inside of your PC? So if you are a PC user, okay, this is only for my PC people, okay, there's an automatic focus option. So I want you guys to go to your start menu, type in focus, and you will see the tool that pops up. It uses the Pomodoro technique to help you focus for 20 minutes at a time. Okay, so you can sit there and do a task for 20 minutes, then the timer goes off, and then it tells you to go away for like 10, which means get up, stretch, go get something to drink, you know, walk outside, breathe in some fresh air and get some sun, and then come back and do it again for 20 minutes. And it'll repeat the cycle for you until, you know, your task is complete or what have you. But it's really neat. It's a nice visual that you can put on your screen, and that'll help you really stay focused and not distracted, right? You can set up focus time on your cell phone. Okay, I don't know if you knew that. This is an iPhone. I don't know about Android users, so I'm sorry for y'all, but I'm talking Apple right now. So you can set up focus time on here, right? Where let's say that you don't want any distractions to happen, you can literally block yourself from going into like your social media platforms, right? If that's a distracting factor for you, you can block yourself from every app on here that's not useful during your job. Okay, your job time, okay? Then you can schedule it so that it opens up, say, during your lunch break, and then you can look at it if you need to, right? Being in the business that I'm in, I need to be on social media. So I constantly have to be on there, look and see what's going on and so on and so forth. But I'm not gonna lie, I've caught myself just randomly scrolling from time to time. And when you realize that, you know, you have to make some sort of structured break for those things too, right? So you can schedule that on your phone. It's great. It's an amazing thing to have focus time on your phone. And then, you know, you can program it on, say, your calendars at the house. So if you have calendars at home that utilize this too, then you can program it to give you some focus time to be with, let's say there's focused family time. Let's say that there's focused, you know, time that you want to spend with God. Let's say that there's focused time that you want to spend outside, focused time to go to the grocery store or to exercise, things like that, right? And then when you use these apps, it will track how you're spending the time. So if you're actually doing the things that you said that you're going to do, it can track that for you. And you can see when you're not, right? You can see when you're messing up, right? And you can hold yourself accountable that way. When you do things like this and you use the tools that are out there that really help you become more productive and time management aware, you are going to reclaim your time. You're going to get that back, right? One of the tools here that I did put on here to mention was fireflies.ai. And that's another just meeting notes management tool. So you can stay present and focused when you are there in front of people instead of having to worry about all the whole writing down of things. But there's so many of them out there. You can use any of them, honestly, that work for you. Just remember that. I can give you recommendations. Cynthia can give you recommendations. But at the end of the day, use what works for you, right? And when I say use what works for you, I mean use it, right? I don't mean just try it once and go, that wasn't it. No, you got to use it. You got to really get into it and test all of its capabilities and implement it to see if it actually is going to work in your favor. If not, then you didn't give it a go, and of course it failed because you chose not to use it the right way, right? So AI is great, but you got to use it for it to be amazing. Okay. All right. So here are, oh, did I go too far? Maybe I did. I don't know. Where's my thing? Where'd it go? No, I talked about that. Sorry, guys. Did not mean to do all that. I got a little off task here. All right, so here's some best practices, right? I talk about this a lot because it just is what it is when it comes to AI, right? I always tell you guys start small. That's like the first thing I tell you, start small. Choose one tool, all right? One tool at a time. That way you don't get overwhelmed. And that way you can actually test and see its impact, right? You want to look at those analytics, okay? Is this working for me? Is it not? Is it helping me or is it not? If it's not, then pitch it. So be real with yourself, right? Ask yourself, did I put enough time and energy into this, right? Did I use it with fidelity? Okay. Did I fully understand all its capabilities? Okay. And if the answer to those things is no, then you didn't give it your best go. So you can't say, oh, that tool's a piece of garbage. Oh, it doesn't work for me. No, you didn't do the things that you were supposed to do to begin with. So of course it didn't work for you. Okay. So be real with yourself first before you decide to jump into using one of these tools. All right. Next thing you want to do is automate first. So focus on those repetitive tasks, right? Figure out which ones that you can automate, like scheduling, emailing, right? Task tracking. What are those quick wins that you can pull, right? That's going to free up your space and your time immediately. My biggest one was content creation. Okay. When I started automating that particular task, oh my word, like it opened up hours of time for me. Hours of time, right? No longer did I have to sit there and like rack my brain about what I was going to write because I trained ChatGPT to learn and understand who I was and who my target audience is and the way that I spoke, the words that I used, the tone, my personality, you know, so on and so forth. So I didn't have to worry about that anymore, right? All I do is quickly review it, send it out, done, right? You want to focus on the things that you can get quick wins from, because I really do want to see you guys succeed in this, because this is going to be a game changer for you if you can get your time under control. Okay. The third thing I need you to remember is AI should help you, not replace you. Okay. AI is never going to replace you. No one understands that. Okay. I want you to get that in your head, because a lot of people are fearful that AI is going to replace you. That's just not the case. Okay. Human judgment is so important. Okay, you know your clients, you develop the relationships with those clients. Okay, that human interaction cannot go away. Yes, there's certain things that you can automate, but at the end of the day, people buy from people. People do not buy from robots unless you are a well-established, high-end brand like Nike, whatever, you know, any of the other ones that are out there, Starbucks, all kinds of things, right? You know, Mac, like Apple, Tesla, you know, when those types of things, that's different, okay? People know them, they know by their name. Do people know us by name yet? No, not yet. Yeah, you heard the yet, because I'm saying it, I'm claiming it over all you guys. Yet, okay? We're not there yet. We will be there one day, okay? But at this point, no, we need to interact with clients. We need to talk to them. We need to get in there and develop those relationships, okay? So AI can help free up the time that you need to do that, right? Because I don't know about you, but it takes at least an hour to get on a call with clients, right? To really dig into what they need, okay? And the last thing here is I need you to evaluate your tools to make sure they're really helping you be productive instead of harming you, okay? We don't want it to be a hindrance. We want it to be a help, okay? So if it's not helping, it might be time to switch it out or just optimize how you're using it. Figure out a better way, right? Okay. Last but not least, here we go. I'm just kind of quickly go back through what we talked about today. You know, AI tools can help by automating repetitive tasks, optimizing your schedules, reducing distractions, right? Talking about project management, email filtering, writing assistance. There is an AI solution out there for almost every aspect of time management and productivity. The key here is choosing which tool is right for you and your need. Even if it's a small change, like using an AI email sorter or calendar assistant, those things can make a huge difference in your daily productivity. So I want to encourage you to pick one tool, okay, and start integrating it this week. And then let me know how it went. I want to hear about your wins. I want to hear how you're doing and how it's helping you, okay? Experiment with some of the things that will fit into your routine, okay? Remember, it doesn't replace your thinking, but it makes those processes smoother and so much more efficient. So with that, I want to thank you for your time. I hope you found this session valuable. And if you need some help or recommendations on how to tailor your specific workflow, feel free to ask.
Maribel, thank you for another amazing training today. It was packed full of tools for you guys to go back and implement, from emails to note takers, to communication pieces, anything that you would need to help make your business more productive and to manage that time more wisely. So I would encourage you guys to go back and watch a replay of this, get those tools written down. And like she said, start small, start with one thing, but please do let us know how it went. Come back in the group, come back on the live, comment on these YouTube pages and be like, hey, this worked. Or, hey, I tried this, but it wasn't my particular cup of tea, so I had to adjust and do something else. And that will happen because not every platform is going to work for everybody the same way, just like she mentioned in today's live. But if you don't try it, if you don't go forth and execute, and if you don't attempt to even implement it, and you're just sitting back thinking that it's just going to get better, you're delusional, I'm telling you. But that can easily happen with us as entrepreneurs because we get so overwhelmed. But the purpose of this is to help you manage that time more wisely so you can be more productive. So this is a great starting point, especially for new businesses. Don't overwhelm yourself with implementing too much at one time. Don't automate too quickly. Choose one. She gave you like the best recommendations today. Just choose one of them. Implement it, get some feedback on how it's going. And the best person to talk to about that is Maribel. So I have put her links for her website for if you want to schedule a consult with her, if you need it to be a little bit more personal. That's in the guide section of the Six Secrets group. If you look in the features section, like the announcements in the Six Secrets group, there are one of the amazing things that she's created is a chat bot for you guys to have access to. There's a link to that there, and we want you to sign up for her newsletter. So as she rolls out things that can help you as small business owners and corporate business owners, I don't want to put too much out there, but Maribel is not just for the small business owner. She is also for large scale corporations, is the kind of person that you get these trainings from. So thank you, Maribel, for being who you are, which is absolutely a magnificent entrepreneur and woman. Personally, me knowing you, you are amazing on a lot of different levels, lady. I could talk about you all day.
Thank you.
For sake of everybody's time, I'm gonna be respectful, and Maribel's, because I know she's got to go. She's a busy lady. Thank you, Maribel. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we want to hear from you guys, and we hope to hear from you all really soon. Y'all have a great day, everybody.
Bye now.
Bye.